everybody, welcome back to That Fiction Life. Since I am a huge movie and tea fanatic as well as a reader, I thought for today's video I would collide those two worlds and tell you which books are currently being adapted. We'll work our way from ones that are definitely happening to ones in development that are most likely to see the light of day, and finally to ones that were announced, but this is what we know about them. So for the very first one is one that was announced most recently, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. So this one will follow a young President Snow who hopes to change his family's time of hardship by becoming a mentor for the 10th Hunger Games. His plans sort of go a little bit awry when he is paired with a tribute from the impoverished District 12. Okay, so this one will be made by Lionsgate, and this is what we know so far. Francis Lawrence will be directing. He directed the previous 3 films, so Catching Fire onwards. Nina Jacobson is producing. I'm so excited about this because she worked on the original trilogy, as well as films like Crazy Rich Asians, so we trust her. And finally, Michael Arndt is adapting the screenplay. He wrote Catching Fire, you guys, okay? I'm so excited. And Suzanne Collins herself is the executive producer, which we like because authors should be involved in their books' adaptations. There's no news on a release date or casting or anything since this has only just been announced. For number 2, we have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This story follows Alina, who joins her country's magical military elite after she discovers that she has powers, and it takes her on a whole wild journey throughout the trilogy. But this is also going to be a little bit of a crossover TV show, as we're also adapting Six of Crows a little bit, also written by Leigh Bardugo, which is a heist story. Okay, so this is being made by 21 Laps Entertainment for Netflix, and this is what we know so far. It's going to be 8 episodes. Filming allegedly wrapped in February this year. And for this one we also have a cast which is terribly exciting, and we have Jessie Maylie as Alina, Ben Barnes as the Darkling, Freddie Carter as Kaz, Archie Renault as Mal, Amita Suman as Inej, and Kit Young as Jesper. Some other side characters have also been announced. For number 3, we have Chaos Walking, which is an adaptation of The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. This is set in a world where women have pretty much been eradicated. It's also a world where people can read minds, so you kind of know what everyone's thinking. And our main protagonist comes across a girl for the first time in his life, and they kind of have a journey throughout the story and uncovering the new world. This is going to be a movie. This has been a long production because most of it was finished in 2017. However, reshoots needed to be done, which were finally completed in 2019. We also have a cast for this one, and here we have Tom Holland as Todd, Daisy Ridley as Viola, Mads Mikkelsen as David, and even Nick Jonas is in this film, so it's a pretty high profile cast for this one. For next one we have Cursed, which is going to be an adaptation of the story by Frank Miller and Todd Wheeler. This one is also made by Netflix, just like Shadow and Bone. However, this one is going to have 10 episodes. For the cast, we have Catherine Langford playing Nimue, Devon Terrell is playing Arthur, and Gustav Skarsgård is playing Merlin. I am so excited about this story because I loved the original Merlin TV show when I was younger, so high hopes for this one. For number 5, we have One of Us is Lying, which is going to be a TV show adapted from Karen McManus's book of the same name. This story is sort of The Breakfast Club meets murder, where 5 teens go to detention but only 4 come out alive. It's one of my favourite books. If you've been on my channel, I've talked about it a lot. I've had Karen on my channel twice talking about it. What we know so far about this one is that it's being made by NBC Universal for its new streaming service Peacock, which is already live. There's not a ton of content on there because a lot of their original productions were just closed. All the sets are closed, so they can't be making it. But we do know about the cast for this one, and we have Mark McKenna playing Simon, Marianne Lee Tejeda will play Bronwyn, Chibukiem Uche will play Cooper. Very excited about this casting. This one nailed it. And Annalisa Cochrane will play Addie, and Cooper Van Grootel will play Nate. For number 6, it's a very controversial one, and that is The Selection by Kira Cast. Also announced very recently. It's a dystopian future where 35 girls are picked to sort of fight for the prince's heart. It's a little bit like The Bachelor in a dystopian setting. Now this has already had 2 chances. The CW actually made scripts twice over to try and get it for the next season, and each time they didn't get picked up. A little bit of the pilot was in fact filmed with Michael Malarkey playing Maxon. If you read those scripts, they're the worst scripts that I've ever read in my whole life. Okay, so if you've read the books, Maxon is such a sweetheart, but in that second script, they tried to make him into this playboy something, I don't even know. The first one was a little bit different, but they were both bad, you know, just no. So it's getting a 3rd strike, so to speak. This time made by Netflix. It's going to be a film. And what we know so far is that it's being directed by Haifa Al-Mansour. I really do like that we're getting a female director for this film, because a lot of these books that feature female protagonists get male directors, and I want to know how different it's going to be. I don't think this one needs to be happening, you know, it's had 2 chances. There are so many more books out there that could be adapted. For number 7, we have Hush Hush. Now this one, I feel as though has been trying to become an adaptation for the last 20 years or something. This story follows Nora, who crosses paths with a fallen angel at school, and it becomes a sort of paranormal romance story. It was one of my sort of guilty pleasure obsessive reads in my teens, so I really do want this to come into fruition, finally. It's an odd story with this one, because rights were originally bought in 2012 by LD Entertainment, but the rights reverted back to Becca Fitzpatrick, the author, because she decided it wasn't the right time. Now the rights have been purchased by someone else, and the story with this one is a little bit cryptic because things appear to be moving very fast for an adaptation. We were getting script snippets, we were seeing the cast be announced, and then the director herself was saying that we're hoping to release the next cast members as early as next week at the time, and then just everything halted. So as far as I know, it is still happening, but very slowly. If you try and kind of look at evidence on the internet, Kelly Cyrus, the director, started asking the fandom questions recently, saying TV show or movie, which is better for a book adaptation? So that makes me now think, is Hush Hush now potentially going to be a TV show instead? Because the kind of news around the fandom was that it's going to become a movie, because that was what was announced, and now everyone's asking questions. So we don't even know if this is going to be a movie or a TV show, but we do have the main cast, and that is Liana Liberato as Nora and Wolfgang Novogratz as Patch. I did a whole reaction video talking about this series and what I think of the cast, so I'll link that down below if you would like to see it. But I'm very excited that Kelly Cyrus is involved in this, because she directed The Vampire Diaries and the originals, as well as You, so I have high hopes. She's done some great work. Number 8, we have Scythe, which is based on Neil Shusterman's novel. This is set in a world where humanity has conquered death. Everyone is immortal, however they still need to control the population, and these people called Scythes exist to kind of eradicate humans at random as to not overpopulate the earth. And these 2 characters are chosen to become Scythes, so they kind of begin this apprenticeship with a senior Scythe, and everything just goes haywire. It's such a crazy story. Now what we know so far about this one is that it is in development with Universal, and that Sarah Gamble is writing the script, who worked on Supernatural, she worked on You. Great credentials, so I'm quite excited about this one, and I really hope it gets made. Number 9, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Now this is a fantasy story based on Nigerian mythology and legends. There's a little weird story with this one as well, because the rights were bought by Fox, but when that was disbanded, the rights went to Disney and Lucasfilm. So if this film becomes a thing, it's going to be the first Lucasfilm production that is not Star Wars. So I'm hoping they have a lot of faith in this, and it's going to come to the screen at some point. The script will be written by This Is Us writer Kay Oygen, which I'm quite excited about, because This Is Us has incredible ratings. I can only imagine what she does with this incredible book. And for number 10, we have House of Night by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. You remember this book? Do you remember Marked? It's a story about vampires. Zoe, our main protagonist, is a fledgling, and she's told that if she doesn't go to the House of Night, she will die. So of course she goes. It's sort of a vampire boarding school story. It's honestly the craziest plotline ever, you know, past book 4, I don't even know. But anyway, finally, apparently something is happening with this adaptation. But I don't have the highest hopes because people working on this are people that worked on Shadowhunters. It's the Shadowhunters producers, and they don't have the best track record with me personally, because they changed the whole plot of Shadowhunters and it didn't work out. Because of course we know that TV shows do have to adapt some things. It doesn't have to be exactly like the book, but those books are incredibly well written, and for them to just make it kind of scared for this one, but we shall see. This one is very early stages. It was only announced a few months ago who is working on it. So we have Don Carmody and David Cormican. So that's the end of my list. Do let me know if there are any other adaptations you are looking forward to, or if there are any books that you would really like to come to the screen one day. I hope these all do work out. Hollywood is very uncertain, especially now. I have my fingers crossed for these authors because it must be so frustrating for them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!